Let me start with a story. Years ago, a man in his early 60s walked into my office, clutching a lab result like it was a death sentence. His hand shook as he asked me, "Doctor, am I going to die of a heart attack?" And he wasn't alone. Over the decades, I've seen hundreds of patients, good people, smart people, living in fear of one single word: cholesterol. But here's the truth no one ever told them. Cholesterol isn't some monster hiding in your arteries. It's part of your body's design. Without it, your cells couldn't survive, your hormones wouldn't function, and your brain couldn't even spark a thought. For 40 years, the conversation has been reduced to 3 terrifying words: cholesterol kills people. And that myth has left millions avoiding eggs, skipping shrimp, and panicking over a single number on a blood test. Today, here on Senior Health After 50, I want to set the record straight. We're going to break down the biggest cholesterol myths one by one, with science, real-life stories, and lessons from world leaders and cultural icons. By the end, you'll see why cholesterol is not your enemy, misunderstanding it island. So here's the challenge. If cholesterol isn't the villain, then why have so many of us spent decades fearing it? The answer lies in a set of powerful myths, ideas that sounded convincing, got repeated for years, and eventually became truth in the public mind. But science and real life tell a very different story. And once you see it clearly, you'll understand why some of the choices people make out of fear are actually holding them back from real health. Let's start by tackling the biggest myth of all, the one you've probably heard your entire life, that all cholesterol is bad. And before we dive in, if this message already resonates with you, do me a small favor, hit the like button, share this video with someone you care about, and subscribe to join our Senior Health After 50 family. Your comments matter too. Tell me your thoughts and experiences below. Let's learn together. Myth number 1, all cholesterol is bad. For decades, cholesterol has been cast as the villain of heart health, like some kind of sludge that seeps into your arteries until everything clogs up and shuts down. But that's not how the human body works. Biology is smarter than that. Cholesterol isn't a poison, it's a building block. Every cell membrane in your body needs it. Your brain, your hormones, even vitamin D production all depend on cholesterol. The real story isn't about whether cholesterol is good or bad. It's about which type, how much, and in what balance. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your bloodstream as a bustling city. You've got LDL, low-density lipoprotein, acting like delivery trucks. They transport packages of fat and nutrients to different neighborhoods where your body needs them. But sometimes, those trucks misdeliver. They leave boxes piled up on the sidewalks of your arteries. Over time, that clutter becomes dangerous. Now, HDL, high-density lipoprotein, is the garbage truck. It drives through the same streets, collects the leftovers, and hauls them back to the recycling center, your liver. Without LDL, nothing gets delivered. Without HDL, the city fills with trash. You need both systems to keep things running smoothly. That's why saying all cholesterol is bad is as ridiculous as saying all trucks are bad. Delivery trucks and garbage trucks are essential to a city's survival. But too many trucks, or trucks that break down in the middle of the road, and suddenly the city has a problem. Think about Bill Clinton, the former US president. In the early 2000s, he faced major heart surgery. His story made headlines around the world, not because cholesterol itself was evil, but because his lifestyle had tilted the balance the wrong way. What his doctors emphasized was not eliminate cholesterol, that would be impossible, but restore balance. Clinton shifted to a healthier diet, reduced unhealthy fats, and embraced habits that supported his arteries. His journey became a global example that the goal is not fear, but understanding and adjustment. Or look at Nelson Mandela. During his years of imprisonment, he practiced discipline with his health, daily exercise, mindful eating, even in the harshest conditions. He didn't have the luxury of obsessing over lab numbers, but he focused on maintaining balance in his body and mind. That discipline allowed him to emerge strong enough to lead a nation. So here's the takeaway. Cholesterol is not a villain hiding in your bloodstream. It's part of the system that keeps you alive. The problem only comes when the balance is lost, when too many delivery trucks are dropping packages without enough garbage trucks to clean them up. And the good news? You have the power to influence that balance every single day. But that's only the beginning. If not all cholesterol is bad, then what about the cholesterol we eat? For decades, people were terrified of eggs and shrimp. Let's look at why that fear was misplaced. Myth number 2, eating cholesterol ruins your heart. For years, people were told that eating foods high in cholesterol, like eggs, shrimp, or butter, was the fast track to a heart attack. Entire generations skipped breakfast eggs and avoided seafood out of fear. But here's the truth. Your body doesn't work like a simple math equation where cholesterol in equals cholesterol out. In reality, about 80% of the cholesterol in your bloodstream is made by your liver. Your body is constantly adjusting. If you eat more cholesterol, your liver produces less. If you eat less, your liver often makes more. It's a finely tuned system designed to keep you in balance. Let me give you an example. Remember Winston Churchill? He was never shy about his love for rich foods and cigars. He lived to be 90. Was his lifestyle perfect? Absolutely not. But his longevity shows us something important. Health is not determined by one nutrient alone. It's the broader pattern, the whole lifestyle that matters most. Now, let's talk about food science. Eggs, for decades, were demonized. People thought the yolk was poison. Yet eggs are packed with protein, vitamins like B, 12, and D, and healthy fats that support your brain. For most people, eating an egg a day has little to no negative effect on heart health. In fact, in some cultures where eggs and seafood are staples, like in Japan, rates of heart disease are lower than in countries that avoid them. So if it's not the cholesterol in food, what's the real enemy? The answer is processed foods, refined sugars, and trans fats. They cause inflammation in your arteries, which is what makes LDL cholesterol more dangerous. Picture it this way. LDL trucks driving through smooth, clean streets aren't much of a problem. But if the streets are cracked, inflamed, and filled with potholes caused by sugar and processed junk, those LDL trucks are more likely to spill their cargo and cause blockages. Even Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards." In nutrition, it's the same. Looking back, we now see that blaming eggs and shrimp for heart disease was a mistake. The real culprits were hiding in plain sight: soft drinks, candy bars, and processed snacks. The lesson here is simple. Don't fear natural, nutrient-rich foods just because they contain cholesterol. Fear the processed, artificial ones that quietly inflame your arteries. Your heart isn't ruined by a Sunday omelet, it's threatened by a daily diet of soda and packaged junk. So now we know, eating cholesterol isn't the real danger. But here's another trap. Many fall into believing that a single high number on a lab report means disaster. The truth is much more nuanced. Myth number 3, a high cholesterol number always means danger. Here's one of the most heartbreaking myths I've seen in my years of practice: the belief that a single cholesterol number is a life or death sentence. Patients walk into my office clutching their lab reports like it's the final verdict on their future. I'll never forget Linda, a 7-year-old retired teacher. She came to me in tears because her total cholesterol was 230. In her mind, that number meant she was headed straight for a heart attack. But when I looked closer, her HDL, the good protective cholesterol, was high, her triglycerides were low, and her arteries looked healthy. That so-called bad number didn't define her health at all. And that's the point. One number doesn't tell the whole story. Cholesterol is complex. You have to look at the ratio of LDL to HDL. You have to consider triglycerides. You have to ask whether inflammation is present in the body. Heart health is like an orchestra. You can't judge the entire symphony by a single violin. You have to listen to the whole performance. Think about Steve Jobs. He once told his team at Apple, "Details matter. It's worth waiting to get it right." That wisdom applies to medicine too. Looking only at total cholesterol without examining the details is like judging an iPhone by its weight alone. You miss the design, the function, the experience, the full picture that truly matters. Here's another perspective. Franklin Roosevelt, the US president who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, suffered from high blood pressure and cardiovascular issues for years. But back then, medicine often reduced health to 1 or 2 numbers. They didn't have the tools we do now to see the bigger picture: ratios, inflammation markers, arterial scans. If Roosevelt had access to modern understanding, his health could have been managed more wisely. His story reminds us of the danger of oversimplifying complex problems. So the real lesson? Don't let a single cholesterol number scare you into panic. It's not about one figure, it's about the entire landscape of your health. Your diet, your activity, your genetics, your inflammation levels, your balance of good and bad cholesterol, all of these pieces matter. When you understand that, the fear fades, because suddenly you see that you are not defined by one number. You are defined by the bigger picture and the choices you make every day. And once you realize that one number doesn't define you, the next question becomes, what's the solution? Many believe the only answer is medication, but the reality is far more empowering. Myth number 4, medication is the only answer. One of the most dangerous myths I see, especially among patients over 50, is the idea that medication is the only solution to cholesterol problems. Don't get me wrong, statins and other cholesterol-lowering drugs save lives. For many people with advanced heart disease, they are powerful tools, but they are not the entire story. Think of medication as a seatbelt in a car. A seatbelt can protect you in an accident. But if you drive recklessly every day, speeding, ignoring stoplights, never maintaining your brakes, that seatbelt alone won't save you. In the same way, medication works best when combined with smart daily habits. I've seen this play out countless times. A patient will start statins and say, "Doctor, now I can eat whatever I want, right?" That's like buying insurance and then setting your house on fire. Pills can help, but they can't undo an unhealthy lifestyle. History gives us examples too. Take John Kennedy. Behind the scenes, he struggled with chronic health issues, back pain, Addison's disease, and more. He relied heavily on medication just to get through the day, but he also understood the power of discipline, swimming regularly, focusing on posture, staying as active as he could. He knew medicine alone wasn't enough. It had to be paired with daily effort. Science backs this up. Leafy greens, colorful vegetables, nuts, and whole grains literally change the way your arteries behave. Regular walking improves circulation and raises your good cholesterol. Sleep regulates your hormones and inflammation. Laughter lowers stress hormones that can damage the heart. These are not folk tales, they are measurable, biological effects. So yes, medication has its place, but the true medicine is a combination, a pill when necessary, and powerful lifestyle choices every single day. The pill may lower your cholesterol number, but only lifestyle lowers your real risk. And here's the empowering part. Lifestyle medicine is in your hands. Every meal, every walk, every night of rest, these choices shape your arteries and your future. Medication can support you, but it cannot replace you. So after peeling back all 4 myths, a clear message shines through. Cholesterol isn't the villain. The real story is about balance, daily choices, and living with wisdom. The lesson behind the 4 myths. When I look back over decades of treating patients, one truth keeps coming up. Fear often does more damage than a number on a lab report. Cholesterol has been painted as the enemy, but the science tells a different story. We've just unraveled 4 powerful myths. Not all cholesterol is bad. You need both LDL delivery trucks and HDL garbage trucks to keep your body's city running. Eating cholesterol-rich foods doesn't ruin your heart. It's the processed junk, sugars, and trans fats that cause the real harm. A single high cholesterol number isn't a death sentence. The bigger picture matters: HDL, triglycerides, inflammation, and lifestyle. And while medication saves lives, true power lies in your daily habits, the way you eat, move, rest, and manage stress. Step back, and a theme emerges. Cholesterol is not about fear, it's about balance. Health is not a single number, it's an ecosystem, a full orchestra where every instrument matters. History reminds us of this. Bill Clinton's heart surgery wasn't defeat, it was transformation. Churchill's long life wasn't about eliminating cholesterol, it was about the complexity of health beyond one nutrient. Mandela preserved his strength through discipline, not pills. Steve Jobs reminded us that the whole picture matters more than one detail. And here's the lesson I want you to hold on to. You are not defined by a number on a page. You are defined by the balance you create, the wisdom you carry, and the energy you bring to your family and passions. If you're over 50, this stage of life is not about shrinking back. It's about stepping into strength with clarity. Knowledge is power, but action is freedom. When you let go of fear and take charge of your health, you write new chapters filled with dignity, strength, and connection. That's the vision of senior health after 50, not just living longer, but living wiser, stronger, and more connected. So if this message resonates with you, I'd love for you to be part of our community. Tap the like button, share this with someone who needs hope, and subscribe so we can keep building this journey together. Because the truth is simple, you're not just surviving after 50, you're still writing the best chapters of your life.